Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to week 7 of our technical writing class. We are just trucking along, guys. Before we know it, it's going to be the end of the quarter. It's going so fast. So let's take a look at this week. This week we are working on our SOP primarily, and so I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that. An SOP is a standard operating procedure. Basically, it is writing directions to do something. And this is a fairly standard kind of document in just about any workplace. It could be instructions on how to use the copier, and you have to write that up and tape it to the copier. It could be instructions on how to assemble the casing of an electrical conduit. I don't know. Um, Anything can be the topic of an SOP because we all need to teach the person who comes after us or someone new to the department how to do the things that we do every day. And so SOPs are very, very common in the workplace to let people know how to complete tasks successfully. The key hallmark of an SOP is clarity of writing. Our steps have to be so clear that nobody could get them wrong. And that is why we do have an extra little step here, which is usability testing. So we have to find someone to look at our SOP and try and do it and see if they can do it based on only the instructions or if there are places they get lost or places where they do something wrong. That's usability testing. So we want to make sure that our SOP is high caliber. So the standard operating procedure is fairly straightforward. It can be on any topic. A lot of folks like to write standard operating procedures on um, how to make the world's best banana bread. Like they'll use it kind of like a recipe. Recipes lend themselves really easily to standard operating procedures. I had someone do a standard operating procedure on how to correctly clean their makeup brushes. I've seen standard operating procedures on how to refill the window washing fluid in your car. So any task that you're good at can be the topic of a standard operating procedure. Once again, you don't want to pick anything too terribly complicated, like when we were talking about descriptive writing, you wanted to pick something very simple. Same with standard operating procedure. You want to pick how to make cookies, not how to build a computer, right? Because one of those things is going to be much more challenging and have many, many more steps than the other one. So simplicity is key when we're looking at the standard operating procedure here. And we've got our modules folder to help us with that project. So if you go down to the SOP standard operating procedure folder, you will see we have a lot of supporting documents. Here is the recorded lecture where I will walk you through the entire project step by step, including every bit of the document, like formatting, topic, how to transition between steps, all of that good stuff. So please check that out. I've got an example SOP for you, a couple examples actually. There's a template, there's some supporting materials, and if you like brainstorming, here is a process bubble map that you can kind of brainstorm through. And then here is a little bit of information. This PowerPoint talks about usability testing, its history, its application in the workforce, all that good stuff. And then here's the usability testing worksheet. This is what you're going to have a friend or family member or a random stranger you pull off the street. Probably don't do that one. Fill out for you to make sure that your standard operating procedure is clear and that anyone could complete it. So those are all here to help you make your way through here. So always check out the modules tab if you've got questions about an assignment. And then as you're working through that, our calendar says we're also working on our interview informant profile. So we should be looking for the person that we want to interview for our recommendation report. Remember, we need one source, one expert that we want to use for this assignment. This can be someone who works in the field. This could be someone who teaches about the topic. This could be someone you know who has done the thing you want to write about. If you're comparing colleges, this could be an admissions person that you talk to on the phone. Uh, the list is endless. It really depends on what your topic is when you think about who you want to find to talk to. So what is due on Sunday is just your intentions. You don't have to have the person interviewed yet. This is just your plan to interview them. So if you're worried about scheduling and figuring out calendars and stuff, don't worry about that yet. You do need to have all that done before the recommendation report is due, but we've got several weeks ahead of us that you can use to schedule that time. So for the sake of this assignment, it's more of a proposal. It's telling me who you plan on interviewing and kind of why you plan on interviewing them. So you're going to tell me about the person, their name, their position, if relevant, what kind of company they work for, what skills make them a credible source, like why did you pick them, and an estimated time day for an interview. So try and get it scheduled, but if it doesn't come together yet, it's really okay. Just kind of give this number 4 your best shot. And then type up 5 interview questions. Now, the interview questions shouldn't be just yes, no answers because then, like, what are you going to quote in your recommendation report, right? You're just going to quote yes, right? So that's not a good quote. So come up with more open-ended questions. And these are questions that ideally you're going to be incorporating into your recommendation report. So if you're thinking about your topic and you're like, I wonder about this, ask the person about it so that then you can use their answer, their quote, as a part of your recommendation report. And then tell me a little bit about your interview process. These can be done face-to-face, over Zoom, over the phone. Uh, Email is kind of a last resort. I know sometimes like we do our very best and we just can't connect with the person in real time. But save email for the last resort because it really is better to have that kind of real-time communication so that you can ask clarifying questions and follow-up questions, and there's not that huge lag in turnaround time. So try and talk to the person as real time as you can, whether that's in person, face-to-face, or over the phone. Those are all ideal. Zoom, all that works. Email is a last resort. And that's what you're going to be turning in on Sunday. So you don't have to have the interview done. Just tell me about your plan to get the interview done. And that's what you need to do there. So it's a busy week. We've got lots to keep us going. But if you take a look, we don't have all that much time left. Like next week, we're taking a little break from the recommendation report focus stuff. I'm going to do a little job focus stuff with letters and cover letters and resumes. And then we're jumping right back in with our recommendation report the last week of May. We're working on the recommendation report, we're turning that thing in, and then we're done. Like, that's where we're headed. We're so close. We're so close. So hang in there, guys. Keep up the excellent work. Reach out with any questions and have a fabulous week.